Hi, I'm Hannah Donovan, and we are building predictive editing for video. This is trash. The video that we upload with our phones is growing exponentially. In fact, in just 21 months, we're going to upload 7 trillion clips for the first time. But the thing about all this video that we're uploading is that a lot of it is actually, in the quite literal sense, trash. Because we're not using editing yet to make this good. In the movie business, editing is where you essentially take the bad bits and take them out, and then you stitch the good bits together to make something that is more compelling. I want you all to think of the last movie that you saw. Got it? Great. Okay, so for every minute of that movie that you watched, there were about 20 minutes that you never saw because they wound up on the cutting room floor. Just a reference point. I want to start today by telling you a story. I was the general manager at Vine. Something about Vine that was kind of the blessing and the curse of that company is that while it worked extremely well for these video stars, absolute entertainment juggernaut, it actually didn't always work super well for everyone else to create with. I want to take a look at why. So these video stars, most of them, they were shooting with kind of the best equipment that they could get their hands on, and then they were taking what they had shot and they were actually editing it in pro software. But for everybody else, they were just struggling to figure out how to make videos on their phone. Now, you're a very tech-savvy room. I'm curious, how many of you have even attempted to edit a video on your phone? Raise your hand. Okay, so not even that many of you. And of those hands, how many people keep your hand up if you thought it was frustrating or difficult or time-consuming? Yeah, all those hands stay up. Turns out the art of editing is very, very difficult. I'm going to end this story with 2 data points. One is that today, actually, we all have pretty good gear in our pockets. It's not bad. We're just lacking the editing tools to make this video that we shoot really beautiful. And secondly, that everyone else here is actually a much bigger market opportunity than these video stars. Let's take a look at who these people really are. I'm going to introduce you here to Sophie, Barry, John, and Kofi. These are real people. We follow each other on Instagram. They're not fake. The interesting thing about these people is that they're not even really like influencers per se. In fact, you'd be surprised to see how many followers some of these people have. In customer development, we've learned that these people like this, they'll spend maybe up to 45 minutes an hour editing photos on different apps on their phone, but when it comes to video and posting it permanently, they feel stuck. Now, all of these people here, they have very different lives, but besides feeling stuck with video, there's something else that they have in common. They were all born in the 90s. It was during the explosion of reality TV, and then after that, video stars taking over everything. They discovered really fast that if you can post interesting video, you can become famous. So I want to take you quickly into the world of what one of these people is like. We're going to take Kofi here as an example. Now, he recently shot some photos for a fashion show in LA, and while he was there, of course, he takes some video as well. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Right. So everybody has seen this before on their phone. Now let's take those same exact videos and we're going to put them into the Trash app. We're going to open up Trash here. We've got a camera, but we're going to go into the library and we're going to grab those same exact clips from that party and that fashion show. We're going to get a few more as well. And when Kofi hits the next button here, what we're going to get is we're going to get some automatically generated videos with a few different versions that we can just play right away and then dive into it. Let's take a look. So you can see that he can swipe through a few different versions. He can see which one he likes best. And then the most important part here, just kind of like cracking the egg in a cake batter, is that he can actually dive into this video and put his own creative touches on top before he decides to share it out. So let's just take a look behind all of this and see how it works. First, we analyze all of this video with computer vision. And we're looking at all of these frames for things that a cinematographer is looking for. So we're using our aesthetic lens for, like, is this a close-up, a medium, a long shot? You know, what kind of color does this have in it? All that sort of stuff. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to try and find the interesting and relevant parts based on the kind of mood that you want the video to have. Now, this next part here, that's where that 1:20 ratio comes in that I talked about earlier. And then last, based on the mood and the audio, we're going to take all this stuff and reassemble it and turn it into a video with the audio track. Yep, this is what professional editors do, and this is really, really tough. But with Trash, we make it pretty simple. So we think this is pretty cool. However, there's something that could make Kofi's video here even better than what I just showed you. What if, let's say, we have like a location shot first? What if we just get a little bit of LA first before we dive into that fashion show and the party? That would just ground this all in reality a bit more, right? Let's take a look at what that video could look like. Exactly. So not only is the art of editing hard, but it turns out that also getting all the right shots is kind of difficult too, which is why, you know, Kofi here, he didn't necessarily take these videos of LA, but someone else definitely has those shots somewhere. And this is where all of that trash that winds up on the cutting room floor can become somebody else's treasure. Chapter 2 of Trash is a next-generation stock video repository. Think Getty, but portrait, candid, millennial, and we can have proof of creation for all of this. But where this gets really exciting is at scale. Let's take a look at that. So let's imagine you're a brand, you make a commercial, right? You spend millions of dollars on this and it takes you many months to produce this thing. And then you take a few clips of this, you stick it on your social, people see it once or twice, and now that thing is probably collecting dust on your company servers. That's today. Now imagine that you could take that same video asset, and you could use Trash to automatically recut it for a bunch of different mobile platforms, and then you could make a bunch of different variations by using the video from the Trash library. In fact, maybe you could even A/B test it to see which one works best. With this, you get to increase the value of the original content. You can create infinite combinations of all of this. And last, we can do it pretty damn fast. This is editing at a completely unprecedented scale. In fact, we recently tested this for an influencer fashion show with Michael Kors. We took 7.5 hours of video, and we turned it into 900 30-second spots for social media in real time. Each video is unique. That was all edited with a computer. So who's the crazy team behind all of this? Well, this is my second startup. I've spent over a decade working in consumer entertainment tech, and I really understand this market. Anton is an incredible video engineer. Not only is he also a repeat founder, but his software has also been used and acquired by Adobe and Apple. And on top of that, he's an incredible video artist. In fact, he just wrote some software for the opening credits for Blade Runner 2049. He really gets video. And last, we have Jen. Jen is our advisor plus plus. She's a leading researcher in computer vision, and she's been instrumental in our strategy. She's currently finishing her postdoc in Boston, and she brings the science. Together, we are Trash. And our app is coming out later this year in alpha. We just started talking to investors about 6 weeks ago. We've had a lot of inbound. We're actually talking terms with an institutional right now, and we're finalizing allocations. So if you are interested, we would love to talk to you. Jot down my contact info or grab us afterwards. We can give you a demo. And last but not least, I want to say thank you so much to Vision Camp and our investors. We couldn't do this without you. Peace.